On the 4th of July was when Nong Son was hit really, really hard. PFC Newman, who was in Golf Company, I did not know, but PFC Newman received the Medal of Honor for the actions on the night of the 4th. We were, my company was back at Anwa at the time. We could actually hear in the distance the firefight, and they immediately called Sparrowhawk. Sparrowhawk was the emergency response team. So we went to Nong Son, and when we got there, we got up the hill fairly quickly. But the NVA had come up the back side of the hill, which we thought was almost impossible. They must have come up and spent hours there, and then the daylight, hunkered down, and then at night moved again. But that was the closest to hand combat I'd seen, because the illumination would go off and I'd see, Marines go this way and NVA go this way. And it was probably the first night, the second night, that I probably thought I was going to die. But I made it through that fine. Then the next night, we were on full alert. The night of the 6th, we were on a listening post, an LP. We were sent down the hill, and on an LP, the one thing you don't want to do is come back into your own Marine lines, because everybody's jacked up and they're ready to shoot, ready to kill, and you don't want to be a friendly fire casualty. So as we just set in, and what you do, you set in right before dark, and then when it's really dark, you've already picked out the place you really want to be, and then you move over there so to keep the enemy from knowing exactly where you are. I was the senior man in the team at the time. I was a corporal, and as we were setting in, I said, "Well, I'll be the first to go to sleep, because the hours between 2 and 4 are the most, when everybody wants to go to sleep. I mean, you just by the way you're designed." Well, we did not have radios, but we had comm wire, and so we'd wrap comm wire around our wrist, and so if you needed somebody, you'd tug on it. That way you could do it with everybody was in just with almost arm's length for the four of us, laying there. And it just gotten dark, and it was July, so the sun was pretty late going down. It was probably around 2200, around 10 p.m. that I felt a jerk this way, and then a jerk that way, and then a jerk, and I thought, whoa, something's bad. So the team had been, by design, no one fires unless you have to, until I gave the signal. Looking down the hill, probably about maybe 30 feet, I would look, and I'd see what appeared to be a person, and then I'd blink, and it'd be up another foot or two, and he was coming up. He was the lead element of the NVA that were down there, and they were doing a re-attack on the hill, or at least that's what I had to assume. And as he was coming up, he got closer and closer, and I kept thinking, okay, what can I do? What should I do? And I was thinking, if I fire at him with my weapon, that signature, that flash, will give them where our position are, and they're going to concentrate the fire. So I even actually thought about using a K-bar at a point in time, but that lasted about that long, because none of that's quick and easy like it is on film. So I pulled a grenade and pushed it out, and it was probably 8 to 10 feet away when it went off. When it went off, it seemed like the longest 3 to 5 seconds of my life, because the NVA was kind of dancing. He knew something was up, and he didn't know what. And well, it exploded right behind his heels, and it literally blew his ass out. And the worst part of all is he did not die quickly. he lay there moaning, probably for his mother or whatever, for until almost daylight. So that was horrible. But in the meantime, I'd wounded myself up and down the side of my left leg. I'd wounded two of my three other Marines. So that was not the most honorable way to get a Purple Heart, but but that's the way it happened. That was the second one. The third one was in August the 15th, and August the 15th we had two Vietnamese Kit Carson scouts, Mr. Bai and Mr. Thao. And Mr. Bai was my favorite because he spoke a little bit of English, and he was just an A-type personality. He was bouncing around all the time. Well, we were going through, and the problem is I don't even remember where it was. It was in Vietnam, but I don't know where. We were going through a semi-jungle area, and we started receiving rounds, but they were really high, and they were hitting the bamboo and all high. So we thought, well, this is not going to be good because we really can't see them. They kind of know we're there, but they don't know where we are either. Well, as we received more rounds, Mr. Bai went that way, and I went that way, and there was a depression, and it was a punji stake trap. And I went straight down on a punji stake trap on my left foot, and the punji stake went through my foot about that far. And the firefight ceased somehow, but I guess I was probably concentrating on the punji stake through my foot. And people ask me to this day, well, how did you get it out? Did you pull it out or did you push it back through? And my memory is just blank on that. Somehow I got it out, or the corpsman got it out. But I guess that's God's way of dealing with how you handle these things. You just don't remember. It was an old trap. It was bamboo. It wasn't steel, and it had probably been there. Well, I just had the impression it was an old trap. So I probably at one time it probably had a water buffalo dung on it, but. The interesting thing is that the punji stake trap wound bothered me more than any other of the wounds for the next few years. Even when I was after I was retired from the Marine Corps, I would walk around and I'd still get infected and all that. So that was as far as discomfort goes, that was the worst. Actually, Corpsman Lou Laguerre was our battalion corpsman, and he called himself the Gunny, even though he was a Marine. He was an E7 at the time, and we got to know him very well in Hawaii later. But he was really gruff. He'd say, Marine, get on the table, and this is going to hurt you more than it is me, but. He had a heart of gold, and he was a great corpsman. Well, because of the 3-heart rule, after my third Purple Heart, they went through the administrative process, and it turned out to where that I ended up staying 13 months and 9 days. Actually, on November the 10th. I got there on the 1st of October, and the 10th of November is when I left on the Marine Corps birthday to come back to the States.